Hello and welcome back to another episode. Now this is the first evening spent on plot 15C. Because it doesn't get dark till about 8:15 now, it gives you an extra couple of hours after work to pop up the allotment, which is great. And it's even better when it's like this, in the glorious sunshine. I couldn't think of a better way to wind down the day than to come up here. And the sunshine makes everything better. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to plant out my sweet peas, because I am off to Wales again in just under a week's time, and if I don't get my sweet peas out now, they won't be planted out for another 3 weeks. So they need to go out really. There are still chances of frosts, but I'm going to take my chances. They are ready to go out, and I don't think they will last another 3 weeks stuck in here. So I'm going to plant them out on the archway, and I might put some round an obelisk in the flower patch, because I think there's going to be plenty left. So yeah, they're going to go out, and then I thought, well, that will be quite a short, boring video. So what I will do after I planted them out is give you a quick tour of the plot, because you actually haven't seen the whole allotment since last year really, and there's things growing and some things have changed, and I thought I'd treat you to an update on plot 15C. I keep meaning to go over to film my dad's, and I was going to do it tonight, but he's not coming up here tonight, and obviously I'm off to Wales in under a week's time, so it's just a matter of trying to fit it all in. But I will do an update on my dad's plot. If not in the next couple of days, then definitely when I get back. I have so many videos planned and so many recipes to try out in the shed, and it's just finding time to do it all. But no, I'm off to Wales, so that would be great. I'm really looking forward to that. But what I have realised is that I'm going to miss the big tulip display this year, which is a little bit sad because I love my tulip trough. There's about 10 tulips out now, but there's quite a few which are ready to bloom, and no doubt they will bloom when I'm on holiday, so that's a shame. But what I will try and do is get my dad to take some pictures and maybe try and get him to do a little bit of filming of the tulips so we don't miss it completely. Because I remember last year picking tulips on my birthday, which is at the end of April, on the 28th of April. So yeah, I'm going to miss the tulips. But it's always next year, and I mean, I'm looking forward to going to Wales, so I suppose that's just life. So what I'm going to do is put the sweet peas in, give you all an update on the plot, and if I have time, I'm going to weed my strawberry bed, because it just looks like I'm growing grass. It's that bad. But I won't bore you too much with that. And if I've got a little bit of time, I'm going to attempt to clean out the pond. There's not actually any frog spawn in there, so I'm going to give it a clean, just because the oxygenating plant and the water forget-me-not has just gone crazy. It's overcrowding the whole pond, and because the pond's not that big anyway, it's gone a bit mad. So I'm going to cut back the water forget-me-not, not too much, because the frogs adore it. And I definitely recommend it. If you are looking for any plants to put in your pond, put in a water forget-me-not, because the frogs just love it. And then the oxygenating plant, I'm just gonna rip some of it out, because it's just gone crazy. So yeah, I've got a couple of hours anyway until it gets dark. So I'm gonna get cracking. But first, I'm gonna put these sweet peas in, because they desperately need to go in.
Acclimatise your sweet peas outside for a week or so, and then you can plant them out once the risk of frost has passed. They need a spacing of 15 to 20 centimetres apart and a frame to climb up. You can add compost or bone meal into each planting area beforehand to help enrich the soil. Sweet peas will use their tendrils to climb, but they may need some help climbing the frame, so you can tie them on every now and again. Keep them well watered and remove any faded flowers and seed pods to help encourage more blooms. The more you pick, the more you will be rewarded with beautiful, sweet-smelling flowers.
Right, so I didn't have time to give you all a quick tour the other day when I put the sweet peas in, so I thought I'd pop up the allotment again just to give you all a quick look round, because we haven't had a look round in ages. So we'll start with the shed. Now it does need a couple of coats of paint, but I might do that in next month or in a couple of months when it starts to get a bit warmer, because it desperately needs a couple of coats of paint, but I'm going to keep it lavender anyway. Now I tidied up this area in a previous video, but the water butt's just been moved forward so I can reach the tap now, and then I've been storing the bamboo behind. But what I do need to do is put some guttering on the shed, so that's going to be a job for this year, somewhen. Now the 2 strawberry beds have been a little bit neglected. I have managed to weed this one quite roughly, but as you can see by the other one, it was extremely weedy. So this one needs to be weeded, and then what I'll do is I'll lay some straw down to protect the fruits when they start to form. The tulip trough is blooming and they look absolutely beautiful. I'm probably going to miss most of these blooming because I'll be going to Wales tomorrow and they'll probably all bloom while I'm away, so I might try and pick some today. But I love my tulip trough. It's always been good. So the new flower patch looks a little bit of a mess. If you can remember, I laid down a wildflower mix in the centre here, and I haven't done anything to that because I didn't want to pick anything out because I can't tell which are weeds and which aren't right now, so I've just left that. But the border around the edge desperately needs weeding and it just needs tidying up. But there's 2 rhubarbs here, and the globe artichoke in the corner. I planted him out last year, so hopefully he'll grow a bit bigger. And then there's a few perennial flowers, and the apple tree, which is coming into bud really nice. I've noticed a few flowers on there. So yeah, this needs a little bit of work. And the archway also needs a bit of work. As you can see, it's falling apart. It is 3 years old though, so it has lasted quite well. And I mean, these thicker vertical supports, I mean, they're fine, but it's these thinner bits of hazel that they've just got very brittle in the sun, so they've started to fall apart. So what I might need to do here is tie some bamboo along, or maybe replace it for a metal one, but we'll see. I planted the sweet peas there, like always. So next we have the broad beans, which I sowed in November. They've come up really well. They're not as tall as I hoped they would be, but they've got lots of flowers, so hopefully I'll get a nice harvest from them. Next door to the broad beans, I sowed 2 rows of carrots. Now I only sowed them about a week ago, so there's no signs of them yet. But what I might do, because the temperatures have dipped a little bit, I might put a cloche hoop over the top of them just to help them a little bit. And next door to the carrots is 1 row of red onions called Red Baron. So I started them off in the greenhouse and planted them out a week ago, and they seem to be okay. And next door to the red onions there's going to be 2 short rows of leeks, and then 2 courgettes, and then at the back there's going to be a block of sweet corn, and then amongst the sweet corn there's going to be a pumpkin, and the French beans are going to be climbing up the sweet corn. So that's in the legume bed. Next to that is the brassica bed, which there's nothing in there, and I desperately need to get rid of this cold frame because it's in the way and there's nowhere to put it. It's too big. Even though I love it, it has to go. And then the last vegetable bed is the root bed, but it's just completely filled with potatoes. So I planted them out about a week ago. There's 4 rows of international kidney there, and it's just completely potatoes in this bed. And then there's the tank at the end. which has radish in there, and they've just started to come up, which is great. They're obviously a fast growing crop anyway, but I'm looking forward to eating them, and that's just going to be a successional growing in there, so I'll just keep on growing the radish in the tank. And then we have the fruit cage. Now this is the first year with the netting all up, so hopefully we'll get a nice crop of fruit. So if I just quickly go in and show you what we have in here. So we have, tuck that in, I need to make a door for this. Yes, there's 4 black currant bushes here, which are all starting to leaf up. They're starting to bud, which is great. I did lay some manure down on the bases. So there's 4 black currants, there's 2 gooseberries, which I haven't pruned this year, and I think it might be a little bit too late now, but hopefully I'll be able to prune them. And then at the far end there's a row of raspberries, which are all starting to sprout up, which is perfect. Now I only laid the black membrane to about here, just so it allows the raspberry canes to come up through the soil. But what I do need to do, and I have some wood for it, is lay a plank of wood along here so I can attach the weed membrane to it. Because what I have been doing is putting weeds in here, and as you can see they've all sort of rooted down. So I need to tidy that up and lay some more bark down, just make it a bit neater. But yeah, hopefully we'll get some nice fruit this year, because it's the first year with all the net on, so the birds can't get it. So that's the fruit cage. And last but not least, there's the pond area. Now the pond is a little bit overcrowded at the moment. I need to cut back the water forget-me-not. So I need to cut that back, and I need to take some of the oxygenating plant out, which is overcrowding over there. But the frogs adore this water forget-me-not, so that's definitely recommended. If you have a pond, get some water forget-me-not. I have seen some frogs in there, they're still in there, but there's no frog spawn, so what I'll do in the next couple of weeks is tidy the pond up, give the area around a good weed, and all the annual flowers will be planted here, so they'll be sown in the greenhouse and planted out later. There's the 2 roses, Katie's rose and then the climbing rose called Penny Lane. And there's also the grapevine, which I haven't pruned this year, and I think it's too late because it's starting to bud. So I might just leave that this year. But hopefully one day that's going to cover the whole side of the fruit cage with lots of nice grapes. But that's it for the plot. We did that quite quick because it's quite small. But yeah, not much is happening because, I mean, it's only May, but it's starting to fill up nice. And hopefully in the summer it will look a bit nicer because all the flowers will be here. And there's still plenty of work to do. But I hope you enjoyed the little tour, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.